All right, good morning. Could everyone please stand for pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Approval of the agenda has passed. The approval of the minutes from the March 26th or March 28th regular meeting. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Approval of the minutes have passed. President's remarks. Somewhere. Good morning and welcome to the April Ocean Pines Board of Directors meeting. We appreciate everyone taking the time to join us today. Director Lackernick has an excused absence for today. First, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to our newest director, Patrick Leonard. We're glad to have you on board. Thank you for volunteering your time. In addition, I'd like to congratulate Director Jeff Hebner on his appointment to the Worcester County Veterans Memorial Foundation. We're confident he'll be a tremendous asset to that wonderful organization. Good job. A few weeks ago, Commissioner Bertino held a town hall to discuss Worcester County budget process and how it may affect water and sewer rates for the upcoming fiscal year beginning July 1st. He encouraged residents to attend the budget meeting in Snow Hill on May 5th at Cinco de Mayo, 6 p.m. If you would like your voice to be heard, I think the county did that on purpose. Several upcoming events and updates to the community I'd like to share. The Ocean Pines Racket Center has launched $6 Tuesdays for non-members. The Marina has announced, the Ocean Pines Yacht Club Marina has announced updates regarding its opening extended hours. I believe it opened yesterday. I believe I saw that. So on the weekend, so it's opening early. So for your boats, go out there and get that $6, $5.65 gas. I think it is. Yeah, cheapest on water. Please ensure you have updated emails on file with the OPA so you can receive the latest updates, including upcoming election information. A lot of that information is sent out via email, and we often every year we get a lot of folks that kind of reach out and say I didn't get it. Just make sure that your email is the latest and greatest so we can make sure you get that information. Pools will be opening very soon, so we're excited about that. Be sure to keep an eye on the Yacht Club dinner specials and new spring hours. The prime rib night last week was a huge success, and it did sell out pretty quickly. Family golf has been rescheduled for June 21st here at the golf club. You bring your family out. It's always a great time here. From a safety standpoint, please be mindful of walkers and bikers while driving. As many more people are out enjoying the community this time of year. A lot of walkers, a lot of bikers. So we want to make sure just be careful. So that'll be it for what I have here. John, we can move on to the GM report.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everybody. Morning. All right, start off with the first page. I always like the first page. So you can see our cherry blossoms were in full bloom when we took the pictures, tulips. We are going to enhance that. We will continue with the sunflowers. So 2 years ago, we did very well with our sunflower plantings. We're looking to recapture that. So if you see Eddie seeding in a couple of weeks, cheer him on. So we're hoping to recapture what we had 2 years ago. We got a lot of positive feedback on it in addition to that. Right, also in the two entrances, you see the new banners. Compliments to Nancy and Sarah, I believe, did it, and they captured that cherry blossom. Turn the page. All right, so I like to start off with this. This is a big part of everything I talk about. We talk about, especially the board and the Homeowners Association. I truly believe the results and everything that we've achieved over the last 7 years is because together we are better. And that's why it's happened. And compliments to the homeowners and everybody. We've achieved a lot. We will continue to achieve a lot. I just encourage everybody, let's work together. We did with the storm, and it's worked out well with everybody. Look, there's always some that whatever, that will look at things that we're doing and have critique, but that's what makes our republic great, okay? On the page. But the results are the results, and they've been very positive. All right, so this is the agenda for today. The initiatives, we always start with that. Obviously, we're putting a big allocation of our resources into them, so I do want to give updates on them. On the page. All right, so the firehouse, and we know that, and that's actually a picture of a replica, and credit to Jeff on that, beautiful. And I'm sure that'll be part of the train world once we get that train going. So status is green, but let me talk about that. If you have been passing by, you can see, you don't see a building yet. So we did during the site work and some of the reviews, something did come up, which I will talk to you about now. They felt that some of the soil in special areas maybe was more organic than they would like to see. So it will be removed and will be replaced with fill, dirt, sand, clay mix. And that'll probably be done over the next week or two. This is a part where I call it a hybrid. Our public works group, whether it's Noby or Eddie, will jump in. We'll do some of the work ourselves to cut down on the expense, probably take about 20 loads of dirt. So that came up, things happen. It's not a major thing, and we'll certainly take care of it, but you will see a little bit of a delay there as we put that in. Finalized plans to be sent to the county the first week of May for foundation permit. So we did have to, and I mentioned this before, we had to change architects. I really don't want to get into it why, but nothing bad. Well, we just had to change architects, and so it's taken a little time. So again, you know, I'm subtracting where we said in the beginning 60 to 65 weeks. Now I'm saying 55 to 60 once we get that foundation in. Okay, so I'm still standing with the green. Tiki Kitchen. All right, so if you're passing by the yacht club and I see a lot of people looking at it, I see drones actually flying over it. If we charge tickets, I told Bobby we'd probably make some money. Status is green. If you talk to Bobby, it's definitely green. If you talk to Jack, the contractor, which I do on a regular basis, he would also tell us it's green. So the metal roof, that's a big part of it. And I know that from when we did the Tiki Bar, that will be installed this coming week. The interior kitchen, the build will start there. That's all on Touch of Italy. Remember, this is a hybrid project. We are responsible for the structure. The kitchen operate as a food service only to patrons on patio and pool. Food will be ordered through waitstaff. So I did get some questions on that, and they're good questions. And we did talk to Bobby, and I know Linda did also yesterday. So you'll see those windows. The way it's going to work is I, as the homeowner, the customer, I won't go to that window. The waitresses, waiters, whatever, they will go there and deliver the food to you, whether you're at the pool or the patio. So I think it's a good move. Credit to Touchily that realized that we need another kitchen to truly handle the pool and the patio. On track for completion by the beginning of the summer season. Turn the page. All right, so golf pavilion. So obviously I'm down here at golf. I do get a lot of questions on it. We actually get somebody out there who sends me many emails on this for some reason. The status is hold. I thought I made that clear in the past, but look, part of the job is to repeat stuff. Status is on hold. We will review it again in the fall. All right, nothing definite has happened on it. We did get approval to work on it, to plan it, but stay tuned in the fall. We'll let you know. As of now, nothing will be built here this summer. Nor am I saying that it definitely will be built or not built in the fall. We're still reviewing it. Turn the page. Irrigation, we got really positive results on this year. Status phase 2 is completed. Remember, if you go back a couple years, I said it would be a 4-phase. Phase 1, Linda listed everything that was completed there, all on time and on budget. Phase 2, same thing. They're pretty much done. We did put in some emergency work. We did capture some favorability in cost there, because like anything else, every year prices go up. The next stage is the fairways 11 to 17, right? And that'll be next year. Front page. The 18th fairway, if you look out to the left, and actually somebody did before the meeting, I think one of the board members, and told me how really good it looks, receiving a lot of positive feedback from the golfers, not just the members here, but other golfers. Some have labeled that hole, and of course, it depends on the person. They're saying it's one of the best finishing holes on the eastern shore. The pond has been redesigned or designed to retain more water. I spoke about this in the past. That'll limit the amount we pull on the aquifer, which was part of the plan there. Turn the page. Maintenance. So the restrooms are big. We have focused on that every year. We're doing major renovation maintenance on the 2 restrooms out on the golf course. You can see in the middle there's a picture of one of them. We painted the outside, new roofs. We'll paint the doors. The inside, we're replacing a lot of the fixtures. We've painted the walls and talked to Bobby. The floor that they're putting in the Tiki Kitchen, I'm going to talk to the supplier on that and possibly use it for the restrooms. I think it'll be a big win. Bottom left, the Swim and Racket Club, we get a lot of emails on that. We're working on that. Public Works began cutting grass in mediums and common areas on April 20th. So we were probably about 3 or 4 days later than I would have liked. We have been inundated with the branches. We've made tremendous, just keeping up with it the last couple of days, but I'll talk more about that. Reminded that per budget approval, Public Works will no longer be cutting the grass on easements and ditches. That money has been reallocated to, we used it this year for snow removal as well as the branch cleanup. Okay, turn the page. Great Blizzard cleanup, as we call it. All debris is picked up by April 24th. This was extended. Just look at the pictures. Look at the right. So that major machine, the chipper, we leased that or rented that from the county. Compliments to the county that they did offer it to us. We are paying money for it in the temporary time that we'll utilize it. It has been such a huge help for the amount of branches we had. You know, last time I had some pictures of one of the mounds. You could see the bottom right corner. That's the mound as we continue to chip at it. So tremendous effort. I'm labeling this and Linda as part of beautification, not just the cleanup, because we have beautified Ocean Pines, because people have truly cleaned up their areas, not just from the storm. Turn the page. Turn the page. There you go. Look at that. So somebody asked me where that mulch goes. The county does take it. They're utilizing it for organic matter, part of the waste treatment, whatever. You know, the fact that they've leased us all that stuff and helped us out, I think it's a win-win for both. But just look at the amount of equipment and amount of work on the page. Hold on, Elaine.
I just wanted to note too that they're not going around and to every neighborhood over and over again. We've got a number of people who, after the debris was picked up, they're now chopping down other trees and limbs and stuff, and they're leaving them there. They're not going to be picked up by Ocean Pines. It was kind of a one time type of thing. So they will have to make sure that they get that debris picked up themselves.
Right, and just to add on that, we've gone everywhere at least once, if not several times. Republic, and maybe Linda talked about it last time. If you do take those branches and you neatly bundle it, and Linda showed you a picture last time, she'll do it again. Republic will pick it up. If you just leave it out there like you've been, they're not going to pick up massive amounts. The same thing with the leaves. If you have them in the paper bags, we will pick them up as well as Republic. So we still have some type of process of picking stuff up. We just can't pick up the bulk of the way it is right now. We got to cut the mediums. We got to cut the grass, and we have to get this place ready for the summer.
John, a question. The yard, I know the yard was closed a couple of days or something. Is there a plan for the yard going forward for folks that want to bring this?
So it is closed now, and obviously you can see why, and it's just no room.
I got it.
I got to go back and look at the regular schedule. They will adhere to the normal schedule we've had in the past. So whatever we had in the past, I just don't have it at the top of my.
No problem. Thank you.
But yeah, if needed, though, we could talk about it, John. But there's a lot of stuff going on down here. Okay, CPI violations, Linda.
Okay, 39 new violations, 31 closed. 58 of the 127 are still illegal. We're going to be wrapping up on the grass coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. But we are focusing on maintenance as well. Work orders, 58 new work orders, 37 closed. The majority still open in drainage. We did have all hands on deck for the limb pickup, so that is the reason why the new exceeds the closed. So that will be worked on this coming month. And for customer service, 78 new phone calls and emails. We've been getting a lot of phone calls and emails regarding the limb pickup, as well as just general questions. A lot of them are downloading the app. So we've been getting a lot of app questions lately. So we're working through that. But 78, and if you have any further questions, email info@oceanpines.org.
Thank you, Linda. Anything else, John? Oh, sorry about that.
All right, so let's talk about the financials. So it's April. This is our last month of our fiscal year. So this is a big month. I'm looking at the weather. I'm looking at the weather for the next week. I mean, we have budgeted for golf, some very good numbers. We've done everything possible. We just need the weather. They'll get all the golfers out today. Just check with John and Matt, and hopefully all week long. But let's just look at the numbers for March. So March, bottom right corner, we've been trained to do that. I've been trained to do it. 18, we're favorable to budget for $18,000 for the month. When you look up at the top, what caused some of the favorability or not, you can see pretty much finance, public works. Golf was down a little bit. We did have very bad weather February and March, which did affect, the golf course was closed for the longest I've ever seen in 25 years. But in general, the numbers are good. And hopefully April, the weather holds up. So 18 positive for the month. That's what I have to report per budget. And that's what's there for everybody. If everybody has more questions, send it to info, or if you want more detail, then also send it to me. Turn the page. Year to date. So our year to date numbers been around this. We've been around 400,000. Our estimate was for 450, as you heard me saying. Other monthly updates, I need to see how the weather is. But we should be at least 416, 425 favorability. Anything over that, I think is going to be hopefully with the weather. So let's look at the detail there. So you can see golf is favorable to budget. Remember, we've increased the budget for golf over the last several years, really, really a lot. The aquatics continues. Our expenses keep increasing. But, you know, to maintain that sports court pool over the winter and the amount of heat and everything like that, it is very costly, and obviously costs have gone up, as well as we all know how we were hit with the water and wastewater. So that did have a big effect on aquatics, food and beverage, and a few others. Beach parking, they're all pretty much, we know about the racket sports. Membership was down. We actually increased. We were estimating that we would have an increase in memberships this year. There was actually a decrease. We've all heard the stories on that. I'm not going to reiterate it now or repeat it. Hopefully we don't have it next year. The marina, we've had some very good success with that. We've been successful in sourcing our fuel. We went to a different vendor this year. Credit to Nobi, credit to the entire team. Food and beverage, well, those numbers are, even though we're flat to budget, it's a huge increase to what we ever saw before. We heard, you know, the year before how that was a good number, and maybe it was. You know, we heard that from certain people. Well, this number is $250,000 better than that number. So if people touted that last year as a big number, well, then, you know, I guess this number speaks for itself. Rec and Parks, credit to the expense, controlling of expenses up there, and we always try to bring in new revenue. The rest pretty much public works, finance, marketing, 416. Yeah, and anybody have any questions or want more detail on it, send it to info@Ocean Pine. Or of course, if somebody has questions now.
John, I have a comment. Just I'm sorry. Learning the protocol. I just want to commend Public Works and John and the community for the work we did to recover from the blizzard. It was truly a partnership. The cleanup that John's team didn't have to do that. I mean, that was a part of the partnership we have here. So I commend that. You did it pretty much on schedule, and it sounds like you actually went back a few times for some of the places. People do need to step it up now and take care of their own lots. That's your responsibility as a member. But put it in perspective. I read somewhere recently we've got about 85 miles worth of roadway here. So imagine cleaning up from here to past Easton. That's kind of what they did.
Wow.
So good on you, John. Thanks.
That was great to put it in perspective. And thank you, Pat, coming right out and saying that. So we also did, and I appreciate that. And I'm sure the entire board. And again, that goes back to the Together We're Better that I've been talking about. We did bring in a lot of outside contractors for it. We recognized it right away. I authorized it. We had money from other favorability and we utilized it. We weren't just going to sit back and say we didn't have the resources. So, and I appreciate the board and everybody else for supporting this. Thank you, Pat. Okay, so this is kind of the balance sheet. This is important. They didn't present this in the past, but I've always put this there. This is where, if you look on the bottom again to the bottom right corner, that's where we believe we will wind up in our reserves. And those are the reserves up top, the reserves on the balance sheet. We'd have $6 million after whatever spend is left for this month and what we've already spent for the year. So that pretty much, and Linda will talk more probably next month when we close it out on where we are with our DMA study and our whole fixed assets. That's a very important number. We were able to build up that number over the last 7 years, which prepared us for all the maintenance and rebuild that we've been doing. Page.
Thank you, John. Moving on, Monica, Treasurer's Report.
Thank you, John. As of March 31st, 2026, the association had approximately 14.1 million in cash. Cash decreased 0.2 million from the same period last year. Cash decreased 1.6 million from February of 2026. We have 7.5 million invested in CDARS. We realized $36,000 in interest income for the month. The remaining 6.6 million is insured cash sweep accounts, treasury bills, money market, and other operating accounts diversified between 2 local banks.
Thank you, Monica. Next up is public comments. Members wishing to make a comment must state their name and address. Time limit for comments is 5 minutes per person. As a reminder, it's not a question and answer forum. Questions can be submitted to the OPA info website. So I'll open the floor for public comments. You can step forward. Cheryl?
Morning, Cheryl Jacobs, 1223 Carrollton Lane, here in the wonderful Ocean Pines. I'm speaking because I want to remind everybody again, because we have to keep saying this over and over and over again, what our president mentioned this morning, and that is we have an election coming up. And it's going to be very important for everybody to be aware of that. And as a member of the elections committee, Marlene Ott and I have done a podcast, and we hope that you will take the opportunity to listen to that, because there's a lot of really good information on the podcast. And we tried to identify what the issues were that the elections committee dealt with last year. And we tried to have a little game where we spun a wheel and colors came up and we asked a question and then we provided the answer to that. And I think we've covered a lot of the issues that we were faced with last year. So please take an opportunity to listen to that. I think it'll be helpful. And don't forget, get out and vote.
Thank you, Cheryl. I'll add that, we do this kind of every year to try to remind everyone, and inevitably in the bottom of the 9th inning, we'll have a bunch of folks calling didn't get the paperwork or they didn't get the ballots. So just trying to be proactive in communicating that is important, because if they don't have, if Ocean Pines doesn't have your information, you may not get the latest and greatest, and you can at least see the dates, the timelines, all the good stuff around our election. Jeff.
Thanks, John. Linda mentioned that a lot of people are calling in with questions about the new Ocean Pines app. And John, you mentioned up front in your remarks, it's critical that Ocean Pines has your contact information so everybody gets their ballot. Well, with that app, you can update that right from your phone. So take advantage of it and update your email and your phone number and you'll get a ballot.
Thank you, Jeff. Yes, ma'am. Step forward. Yes, ma'am.
Lord knows my mouth is loud enough. Charlotte Cathell, 36 Pinehurst Road. Been here 49 and a half years. So long, I remember Bruce Bright when he had blonde hair. But you do have hair, and it's great hair. That's right. Actually, I was on the club's turnover committee, which I doubt anyone in this room remembers. But that was a long time ago when I was in my early 30s. And actually, I can remember there were about 20 of us on there. And we were making suggestions about different things. And I said to the members, and actually I was the youngest at that time, I said, okay, now I want you all to remain in your seats. I think we ought to open the restaurants to the public because at that time they were closed. And the immediate comment was, well, what if I wanted to get in and it was full? And I said, wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh my gosh. It's like, geez. But, and on behalf, I have a granddaughter who's a lifeguard for Ocean Pines. And thank you, John, for getting the mats at the swimming racket, because when I would pick her up from work there, she would complain having to really clean the bathrooms that way because the mats weren't good. So, but, and Pat, actually, congratulations. He took the wind out of my sails because I want to thank Eddie Wells, his group, and of course, under your leadership. And really, I know Linda is the one who leads you, but, but it's just been amazing. And really, I think it's going to be more than 85 miles because if you look at the parkway, you had the median and then you had both sides. So really, the cleanup was wonderful and so caring. I've been walking around and I see the stuff that's been out there and to see how they cleaned it up so well. It just is amazing. And yes, they didn't have to do that. I agree with you, Pat, and Ocean Pines didn't, and we do. Thank you. And whenever we will get our yard cleaned up, whenever we can get someone in, the companies are all so busy. They're having a great time. But thank you for my time.
Thank you so much. Any additional public comments? I see you're moving around. Come on. Come on, you. Should I stay or should I go? Right?
It's just information. It's not really a comment. Huh? Yeah, I will. Joseph Moran, now I'm Giuseppe Giovanni Kosho because my mother wanted me to change my name when she passed away. So I live at 96 Whitehorse Drive. Just for information purposes, back in 1994, I became active with the International Standards Organization in Rochester Institute of Technology. I met a lot of people around the world, and I became an instructor doing that. And I was very successful at that. But I've done a lot of other things along the way. I built houses and became a master carpenter. But ISO deals with management. It deals with information. It deals with police, fire. It deals with health, safety. It deals with working processes, environmental, medical facilities, and the space projects. So it was very interesting for me, and I believe we were talking about it today, that he has a tremendous interest in it. I've seen things that could be improved, like the California fires and the problems in different areas around the world that can be improved through ISO. So I'm going to be reevaluated now in 2026. They're going to send me away for a week to learn ISO completely, to become internal and external auditors. So I'm going to go ahead and take that course. So it'll be a benefit for everybody here that I'll know ISO standards around the world and for what it's worth. There's also a company in Ocean City that has 28 restaurants that uses the waste from the restaurants and uses composites with it. And it's a tremendous idea. We're going to use that idea around the country and around the world. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it's an excellent idea. So that's just my interest. A newly acquired internal and external will take me at least 9 months. Okay, so they'll send me up there, I get tested, and then I become an internal, external audit. I'm not going to use that as a negative here. I'm writing books about it, but I'm not going to turn that against anybody. It's just going to be a positive for everybody to enjoy it. I think you'll gain some information from it.
Thank you so much, and we'll certainly appreciate you not using it against us. Thank you. Any additional questions before we close the floor for public comments? Seeing none, we'll close the floor for public comments. We will move on to capital request. John, I'm going to let you do it this month.
Thank you, John. Some capital requests, bulkhead stormwater pipe replacement. Requesting authorization to go forward with staff recommendation of $27,100.80 for the Depp Brothers excavation to put in a pipe.
John, could you just elaborate on the reserve, on the reserve part of it, so we're
Want
all
to know where
clear?
we charge it?
Yes.
So yeah, and it's a good point. I was actually, so this, even though it's under the capital request and it's a big number above mine, this is something that we do provide for in the regular operational budget for these type of pipes. The big pipes, we capitalize them. This one was kind of borderline. We're going to do this one. We tried to do it under the capital, but this will be operational. It's in the budget for the next fiscal. So you'll see it hit against probably Public Works.
Thank you for the clarification, John. So with that said, do I have a motion to approve capital request $27,180 for stormwater pipe replacement? Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All in favor, say aye. That motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to CPI violations, Linda.
Okay, I'm gonna break these up in two because there's one that I need a contractor approval for.
Okay.
But the following have the first and second notice was provided by resolution MO1. No hearing was requested and violation continues. So we're making the recommendation to forward the violations to legal and suspend voting and amenity rights. 5 Windjammer Road, 1 Seafarer Lane, 628 Ocean Parkway, 37 Liberty Street, 1 Marview Drive, and 1034 Ocean Parkway.
We're going to make two separate motions.
Yes.
Okay. So for the first motion, do I have a motion to move the legal for process and to suspend amenity and voting rights? Second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. That motion passes. We can move to the next one.
Okay, the next one, it's a tree violation at 1034 Ocean Parkway. It's a dangerous tree. We're putting a recommendation to have the board vote to have a contractor remove the tree.
So the motion is to have a contractor on the property or to move to legal. The motion is to move to hire a contract to repair or to make the tree removal. Do I have a motion? Clear me up, Bruce.
One modification of that motion, if you can include the fact that the cost is going to be added to the assessment bill of the property owner.
Gotcha. So the motion is to hire a contractor to remove a tree and to pass on the expenses to the owner's assessment. Do I have a motion? Second. Any discussion? Monica?
Just want to make sure they've gone through all the processes and have had their notification.
Yes, we've contacted them, we called them, we've emailed them, we've sent a pre-violation, a first notice, a second notice. This has been going on since February.
I just think it's important
Yeah.
people hear that
Mhm.
we have gone through all the steps that.
We have exhausted all
Yes.
options.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. That motion passes. Moving on, unfinished business, we have none. New business, first reading of ARC guidelines. Elaine?
Back on elections here. The changes will be to the ARC guideline. This is the first reading. It's changes to the political candidate and referendum sign requirements. This will happen if Governor Moore signs the bill. And we just want to be proactive on that, and we expect him to do so. But per the legislation passed and waiting for the governor's signature, the time period for displaying political signs will be altered from 30 days to 45 days, if he again signs that. If there is no early voting 45 days before the primary election, general election, or vote on the proposition, the 7-day requirement to remove signs after the election is concluded remains the same. So we will let you know. Today, we're just doing the first reading. Obviously, a second reading has to be done and voted on. We will do that if he signs the bill. Otherwise, it'll still remain, and we'll, do press release on whichever it's going to be that it's coming up.
Bruce?
Yes, please.
Just one added comment to that. A key change under this new law is that signs may now, are permitted to be posted 45 days prior to the beginning of early voting, not just the election day. So that's a key change to the existing statutory situation. And this change to the ARC guidelines, to the sign regs, encompasses all of that. If the bill gets actually signed by the governor has not signed it yet.
Yeah. And in either case, it will be for early voting as well. So whether it's 30 days or 45 days, it's just going to depend on whether that gets signed or not. I would like to note also that when signs are being put up by politicians, they need to make sure that they're on the homeowner's property. So that really means from the ditch to the street and along the medians, they're not allowed to be put. Just so you want to make sure that when you're giving your signs out to people, that they are aware of where they can put them.
Bruce, did you have something? Oh, okay. Had that look. Is that you? Is that? Okay. So just to add a little bit to that, anybody who wants to follow this, is Senate Bill 758 was kind of fast tracked by Governor Moore. So we probably expect that thing to be signed any day. Based on the timing, our next board meeting is until the end of May. We will more than likely, once that's signed, we will more than likely have a special meeting or an email vote to move that forward, because we're going to be out of time. If it's signed 45 days, that'll run like the first week of May, which is literally in 2 weeks. So more to come on that, but that looks like that's going to happen. Moving on, Good Neighbor Award.
This is always the fun part of the meetings. We have 3 today. I don't believe there's folks here, so I'll just give you a short synopsis. But Cheryl Jacobs had Good Neighbor Award that she'd like for Rick Jameson and Mike Snell. Yeah, it's kind of they are some of the folks who really went beyond with the blizzard that we had and with the trees. And in her neighborhood, it was especially bad. There's a lot of trees came down, a lot of big limbs. And people just say they can't do it on their own. And I know Cheryl said she was getting ready to, call a company to come and take care of it because her driveway was blocked. She wasn't going to be able to get out, and especially in an emergency, that's a problem. And next thing she knows, she looks out and her stuff is gone. So 2 of her neighbors, which are Mike Snell and Rick Jameson, did all of it. great work in your community, which is wonderful. Yeah, yeah. And then we have Dan Green. This was nominated by Nancy Velasco. And this is very short, so I'm going to read it. It says, after I fell mid-September, I was no longer able to venture out unassisted. My neighbor, Dan Green, has been taking out my trash, my recycle bins to the end of the driveway for me. And these are folks who are just doing it because they know their neighbor needs assistance, not because they're being asked. So it's really terrific to see these three this time.
Thank you, Elaine. Moving on to appointments, we have Mickey Loeb, first term alternate, ARC. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Sorry, I didn't see that. Any discussion? Calling question, all in favor, say aye. Motion passes. Welcome to the ARC Committee, Mickey. Moving on to adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Motion passes. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.